Hello everyone and welcome back. I apologize that this yin class got out a little late. My sister got married and I was traveling a lot and I wanted to give from a full cup. So here I am today filming this so that we can be in this class in a way that feels spacious for me but also for you, because I know that it translates. There is an astrology video separate from this where you can get the themes and a deeper insight into how this yin class is affected and woven into the energies that are up in our world right now. We have just had an Aries new moon. We're in Taurus season, which is all about ground and building and foundation after, the big push of spring. But that's tropical. In sidereal, we're still in Aries season, which is really big, like Kickstarter energy. So there's this nice weaving of doing new things and then also setting the foundation for those things to actually take root and to thrive and to begin growing in real tangible ways. Like I said, the video is going to go a lot deeper into all of the different themes for the moon ahead, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of insight before we drop into our class today. So with that, we are going to start in a twisted recline shape. And so I would recommend having like a blanket or a nice cozy sweater if you do get cold, some pillows to hold on to, and just add comfort to the postures. So you're going to first come down to your back. Knees are bent, facing up towards the ceiling. And then you're just going to scoot your hips over to the right side of the mat and let the legs go down to the earth. You are always welcome to bring a bolster here. And then we're going to extend the right arm. Maybe you extend it out or up. Just really letting the shoulder be soft. There's this nice twisted shape. What we're having here is a gentle pulling in the body from the knees and the hips and the shoulder, really allowing the spine to twist and to wring out. As always in a yin class, we come into the shape. We begin to slow our breath down. And then we commit to some stillness, some silence. Really just letting go of any holding of the muscles in the body, especially the top leg, the lower back, the glutes. As you can see here, I'm allowing my hand to really just soothe the part of my body that is having a hard time letting go. And then continuing to deepen and slow the mind, the breath, the body down. Noticing the sensations that are in the body. Letting the mind lovingly and tenderly follow the sensations throughout. Just watching your thoughts, your emotions, the physical sensation of your body. sending the breath to the places where you sense, where you feel physical sensations in the body. Noticing the ground beneath you, the Taurus energy, the safety of being held by the earth, held by all that has been built by the earth, your deep support. How you can rest and receive. And let go. Always an invitation, if the body has begun to relax and open, to deepen the stretch. Some ways to deepen the stretch are to take that arm and goalpost it so that the fingers are up towards the crown of the head. Nice little bend in the elbow. This puts more stretch into that shoulder, into the scapular region. Just making sure there's no effort where you're hovering the shoulder off of the ground. Just follow where your body naturally wants to open. Another way to deepen this stretch is to take this top leg, words are hard right now, and just stretch it out in front of you. Just extend it. Continuing to breathe. Allowing yourself to let go. Let go consciously of the holding of the back body, the shoulders, the glutes, the leg. If the leg is extended, how can it be extended with ease? Notice the stories that play in the mind where you feel the stretch the deepest. And just be with what is right here, right now. If the mind has wandered, bring it back to the breath, back to your body. You're gently going to come out. So just releasing the leg, stretching the arm wide. Full body stretch here, like you're waking up in the morning. And And then fully release that tension. And just notice. You're going to move to the other side slowly and deliberately. So the knees point up towards the ceiling. Rearrange your posture, your back. And then what we're going to do is scooch the hips. We're going to press the feet into the floor, scooch the hips over to the left side of the mat, and let the knees fall to the right. The sides of your body are different. So just start there. Notice. Sometimes a bolster between the legs and the knees is helpful. And then extend the left arm. Find your position. Commit to the posture, commit to the stillness. Allow your body to deepen wherever it needs to deepen, or to back off wherever it needs to back off. This is that fire energy, this ability to be with a posture in all its subtlety, right? Because we're looking for a sensation of about 3 on a scale of 1 to 10. Something we can hold for a time without strain and force and pushing against, like bracing. We don't want the bracing feeling. And the fire, which is what the new moon was in, Aries, all about the initiation, the starting, the beginning, the tending to our flame. I talk about tending a flame. When we deepen into a posture, that's us tending to the intensity. Sometimes intensity is subtle. Notice the mind is attached to in these practices. Relaxing the face, the fingertips, the glutes, the back body on the earth. Breathe into the sensation. Stay with the body. Notice the shape, the pull of the knees to the shoulder, this nice line of energy that's pulling the spine and wringing it out. Opening the side body, breathing into these lungs and these ribs. Really feeling the side of your body. And deepening wherever the body can deepen. Notice what's in the mind. Come back to the space you feel yourself in your body. And just let it go with a breath. Acknowledge it and let it go. Gently coming out, being very slow and mindful. Bringing the knees back up to the sky, full body stretch, lots of tension in the body. Oh, and then release, land, let go. Rolling over to one of your sides to come to a seated position. All of these postures are beautiful on their own, but they're also meant to support the yang practice. So most of these, if not postures, themes and elements of pulling and seeing the differences in your side bodies are in the yang practice. So when you practice these together, you should feel a supportive thread holding them. We're going to come into a child's pose. For people who have really tight hips, I recommend putting a bolster underneath your seat before folding over. It's also really lovely if it just feels really tight to bring another bolster into the navel and to fall over the bolster. You can even stack many bolsters here. Okay? And sometimes it's not about it being tight, sometimes it's about adding comfort. Sometimes the body needs comfort. So just notice what your body is calling for today. Always have a blanket or a hoodie if you need. And then we're just going to come into our child's pose. Letting the hands be soft, the arms be soft. Play around with having the arms bent, extended. If they're extended, try to not be pushing the energy forward, but just to be like really relaxed in the arms. Once again, find your posture, commit to it, and then observe, feel, notice, and follow the sensation in the body. to breathe where you feel sensation. I've brought my hands underneath of me, my body seeking a little bit of comfort and closeness. That's the balance part of what it means to open and initiate, right? In this Aries season of starting new patterns, new behaviors, there's moments of closeness, of pulling in, of holding the tender parts that are either releasing or new. We're going to add on to this. So gently bringing the arms up and the forearms on the ground. We're staying in this child's pose posture in our hips. We're going to bring the right hand to the right ankle, extend the left arm down, and then move it off the mat. We're in this nice side body stretch. Remember, not a lot of energy. You don't want to be forcing. We're just holding the posture, letting go of any tension, any force, any effort. And then focus on breathing out of the left side body, as if you could breathe out of the armpit, out of the lungs. Allow yourself to get as flat as a pancake. Breathing where you feel sensation. Being curious about what's going on in the body, physically, emotionally, energetically, mentally. Can you stay with the rising sensations? Can you stay in the moments where you don't feel much? Can you stay? We're going to walk it to the other side. So you're going to come onto those forearms again. This time, the right arm extends to the left side of the mat. The left arm reaches for the toes, and then you soften the head back down onto the mat, onto the floor, onto the ground. And notice the difference in your side bodies. Breathe into the back body, the spine. out of that armpit, the side body. Fill up your body with new, fresh air, new, fresh breath. Notice what's in your mind. Just notice it. See if you can release it and let it go, let it float on by. Lovely. We're going to gently come back out of this. Slowly rise. Bring the knees under the hips, knees together, sitting on shins. Once again, if that's not comfortable, always come to a bolster underneath the thighs. We're just going to sit here for a moment. Feeling now this uprising energy. We've been on the floor. We've been held deeply by the earth. And here we're still held by the ground underneath us, but there's this rising energy. Can we be rooted and rising without effort? The next posture we're coming into is heroes or hip seat or sitting on shins. Like I said, if there's a lot of tension here, placing a bolster in between the knees to sit on is going to be really helpful, because we're going to come to sit in between our heels. And just play around. Do you want the knees facing forward? It changes where the stretch, where the posture affects. So just listen to your body. What needs to be sat with today? And it might be a little bit of both. You can always move a little. I need to move up so that I can do the next part. So just coming into this nice posture. I'm already feeling a lot, so I'm not personally going to be moving because I'm going to just be with the sensation around my ankles and my knees and my thighs. But for those of you who are seeking a little bit more, and remember, we're looking for a level 3 of sensation. You can then begin to descend down to the floor, to your forearms, on a bolster, or to the floor. But I'm going to stay upright. Sometimes it's really lovely to use blocks. I don't have them right now, but blocks and then a bolster, and just rest your head. Really just adding comfort to the posture wherever you can. Noticing what side of your body might be talking or sensing more. Just what's there. Releasing any tension in the shoulders, the hands, the lower back. face, muscles of the face, the jaw. How rooted can you become? How much can you just soften down into the earth, planting yourself deep? And yet still feeling this rising energy from the seed of your seat, the seed of your tailbone. This upward rising energy of spring, of summer. Our full moon is inviting this energy of summer Beltane. So this heightening, this blossoming, this energizing. Can we be both energized and full of life and centered, rooted, held, spacious? Let go of the belly. Find some play. Maybe there's a sweet sway, a gentle humming. This moon is all about new beginnings and being in our essence and our fire, but also in the depth and the joy and the play of what it means to be alive. Where can you enjoy, where can you lean into the enjoyment of this posture? If you are on your back, gently pressing the forearms into the earth to rise one forearm at a time until you're back to a seated position. If you're seated, we're leaning forward, walking forward, lifting the hips, slowly, cat-cow. Notice the return of blood flow in the legs and the toes. New, fresh blood after some constriction. Moving very slowly as you integrate and feel. Crossing the ankles and come into a seated position. We're going to come into butterfly. So soles of the feet together. Once again, you get to play with how far apart the heels are from the pelvic bowl. It changes the posture, so just notice. If you have them close, what you're going to be focusing on is holding the feet and folding over. You really can just hang. You really can. You just hang. Once again, bolsters here to hold, support, rest on. If your feet are farther away, this might turn more into a forward fold, right? So the bolsters can come into the belly and you can fold over. You can even thread the arms underneath the legs. So just go where your body wants you to go. Add the props that you need to add. How soft can you be? If the mind wanders, gently bring it back to the body, to the sensation. Gently release any tension of holding in the body. Maybe it's the tongue against the roof of the mouth, the jaw, the shoulders, the back body, the glutes, the quads, the fingers. Gently, gently rise. We're coming into our final postures. And it's going to be a hamstring stretch. This is the fire of our yin practice. It's usually the most intense forms of stretching, forms of posturing. So grabbing some blocks. I don't know where mine got away to, so I won't be using blocks today, but you will be using blocks. They are very supportive, or bolsters or something that can just help you release and not hold so much tension in the body, right? We're gonna get into the posture, and then what we're looking for is this general softening into it. So we're not going to our deepest hold as much as we are looking for that sensation and then being with that sensation. So we're gonna start on the left side. Actually, we're gonna start on the right side. You're gonna come into that low lunge, and then we're gonna just come back into this hamstring stretch. You're gonna roll onto the heel. And it's okay if it's not total alignment. Like yin is more about getting into the ligaments and the tendons. And we're not looking for like perfect lines and stuff. So if you round your back a little, it's okay. We're just really looking for this nice stretch. Now there's two ways to do this. I'm gonna do it the most yin-y way. But for those of you who are looking for some fire and you really wanna get into it, this is something you can hold with blocks here, and then you just fold over this knee. I'm actually gonna come to a seated position, and I'm gonna let this leg go long. I'm sitting on my foot, but I'm gonna move that out of the way, kind of like in hero pose. Nope, I'm not. I'm gonna sit on my foot. I get more of a stretch that way. I'm gonna take a bolster, And I'm just gonna fold over the bolsters. So find your position and let the body lead the way. Let it open in its own time. Maybe you sway a little, maybe you hum. Feel the stretch, the fire, the lengthening, the stories of the hamstring, the way the mind wants to push against. Can you just come into the sensation of, be curious of it, meet it, send the breath there, and let it open and dissolve in its own time. Usually if the mind is like, ouch, or when is this over, or, preoccupied with the sensation, it means you're going just a little too far. So bring some comfort to the posture. Back off just a little so that you have the space to be curious with it. If the mind wanders, bring it back. Apparently I'm hungry. We're holding for time, so be gentle. Gently coming up out of it. Ooh. If you're sitting on your heel, you're just going to come to the floor. If you're in hamstring stretch, you're going to go into that low lunge. And then find your way to the floor where you can extend both legs long. Hands can come behind the seat and just hold yourself. Notice the sensations, the way your nervous system feels in this moment, the things that are up in the mind or the heart or the emotionality. Not to fix, not to judge, not to do anything with, but simply just to notice. And then we move to the other side. Our last posture before our final closing Shavasana. So we always start first by coming into that low lunge, just to open up the body, get into the correct structures. And we're gonna roll, rock onto the right, nope, this is left heel. And we're over this right knee. Using your blocks, you can stay here, or you can come to sit on that heel. Option to stay upright, because this is still a place of sensation. And if you feel like you need more, those bolsters are here. Stay with your body, stay with those sensations. Release, release, release the tension in the shoulders, the toes. Let gravity hold you. Option to deepen if the body feels like it's opened, but don't press it. Be curious about other parts of the body that need to stretch, right? This isn't just about the hamstring. There's loads of tiny muscles and even big muscles in the back body, near the spine, near the glutes, near the shoulders. slowly, slowly, slowly find your way out of the posture into that seated position. Hands behind. Notice the subtle energy flow throughout the body. The blood flow, the sensations, the emotionality, the mentality. What's here? What's real? And can you just accept in this moment whatever has chosen to show up? Not as something to fix or change, but as something to witness and see. That it's also not you, it's just something that's here. To end our class, I did this in the yang. There's always an invitation to do a shavasana where you lay on your back or you set up some props to just really receive. But I'm gonna also invite you this moon to join me in meditation instead of shavasana, so a seated meditation. Of course, you're always welcome to take a shavasana. I'm gonna grab my blanket here, come into a seated, easy position, something that's just really relaxing. I like to put a bolster underneath my hips to help lengthen the spine and create this tilt, this natural tilt in the pelvic bowl. And I just bring my hands to my knees. I lean forward a little. I can see that that's too much. I lean back a lot, a little too much. And I find this neutrality where I'm seated at the center point of my tailbone, not too far forward, not too far back, really. You could even do some pendulum swings to really get a sense, a feel for where that is. And I do the same, right to left. Coming into this centered position. I close the eyes. I will guide you out. We're just going to sit together. I'll talk a little and then we'll move into silence. And I'll guide you out. So just releasing the breath. And without any force, watching for the next inhale. And without any force and control, just letting the breath go. Receiving the inhale, releasing the exhale. And with a soft awareness, noticing where you breathe first. Is it the collarbone that lifts? Is it the heart space that lifts first? What would it look like to allow the belly to fill and move with air first? And then the heart. Gently, without control, breathing from a deeper space. Noticing what comes up in the mind, returning to the breath. Noticing what you notice. Softly acknowledging them and then releasing them. Always coming back to the breath or the sensations of the body. The sounds around you. An intimate moment of presence of all that is here now. Holding on to, attached to nothing, simply receiving the in-breath receiving sensation and releasing the out-breath, releasing sensation. Noticing what you notice. Just coming back to the breath when the mind wanders. For those of you laying on your back, I gently invite you to roll to your side, Maybe do a full body stretch as you find your way to a seated position. For those seated, bowing the chin towards the chest, maybe placing a hand on the heart, breathing in gratitude. Gratitude for your body, for this moment, for this peace that is always here, even in the midst of life as it is. Knowing that this stillness, this peace, this level of consciousness is available to you always. It's just a matter of slowing down, dropping in, and returning. Thank you all for being here. I'm excited to be under this moon with you. I'm wishing you peace and love and excitement and joy and magic as we move through this lunar cycle. Bye for now.